first time Daniel mentioned his friend, we thought nothing of it. "He's standing in the corner," Daniel said one night at dinner, pointing toward the darkened hallway. His small fingers trembled slightly, but his face was blank. I turned my head instinctively. Nothing was there, just shadows pooling in the corners, the way they always did after sunset. "Who, buddy?" my wife, Laura, asked, scooping more peas onto his plate. Daniel hesitated. "He doesn't like when I talk about him." A quiet chill settled over the table. The air conditioning hummed. The dog, Murphy, who usually begged for scraps, sat stiff by the couch, staring at the hallway with his ears pressed back. Laura chuckled. "You got an imaginary friend, huh?" "That's cute." Daniel didn't answer. Over the next few days, his friend became a regular topic. Daniel never gave him a name, just called him him. He didn't describe him either. When we asked what he looked like, Daniel would fidget and mumble. "He doesn't like when I say." At first, it was easy to dismiss. Kids have wild imaginations, right? But soon, small things started happening. Toys moved from where we left them. Not just scattered, but arranged, like someone had carefully placed them in a line against the wall. Daniel's door would be open when we knew we closed it. His closet door, too. Then, the game started. I woke one night to the sound of giggling. Daniel's giggling. I checked the clock. 2:46 a.m. With a sigh, I pushed off the blankets and padded down the hall. His door was cracked open, light spilling into the hallway. I stopped in the doorway. Daniel sat cross-legged in the middle of his room, grinning at the empty space in front of him. "What are you doing up?" I whispered, trying not to startle him. His head snapped toward me. "Playing." "With who?" His grin faded. His lips pressed together like he was afraid to answer. Finally, he pointed to the far side of the room. I swallowed. "Daniel, there's no one there." His face darkened. "He doesn't like when you say that." A faint scratching sound echoed from the closet. The hairs on my arms rose. I flicked my eyes to the closet door, which was slightly ajar. My breath hitched. Hadn't it been closed earlier? I forced a smile. "Okay, buddy. Time for bed." I crossed the room, scooping him up. He didn't fight me, but as I tucked him in, he whispered, "You made him mad." I exhaled slowly. "There's no one here, Daniel." He didn't blink. "He says he was here before us." I froze. Daniel rolled over, pulling the blankets to his chin. "He says he likes me better than you." I stepped back, suddenly aware of how tight the air felt in the room, how the shadows in the corners looked darker than they should. I closed his door softly, standing in the hall for a moment, listening. Silence. But as I turned to go back to bed, I swore I heard it. A soft rustling sound, like something shifting in the closet. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I pictured Daniel sitting on the floor, smiling at something I couldn't see. By morning, I had convinced myself it was just a phase. Kids do weird things. Their brains don't work like ours. But then the closet door opened on its own. It happened while I was getting Daniel ready for preschool. He stood by his bed, rubbing sleep from his eyes while I grabbed his clothes from the dresser. There was a click, the unmistakable sound of the closet latch releasing. I turned my head. The door had swung open an inch. Daniel stiffened. His little hands curled into fists at his sides. A sharp, uneasy weight settled in my chest. The house was old. Maybe a draft pushed it open. But I didn't feel a draft. And even if I had, closet doors don't open by themselves. I swallowed, trying to sound normal. "Did you open that?" Daniel shook his head quickly. "He wants to come out." I forced a chuckle, walking over and shutting it. "Well, we need to get dressed first." Daniel didn't move. He kept staring at the door. At breakfast, he barely spoke. He just picked at his cereal, eyes flicking to the hallway every few minutes. I followed his gaze once, but saw nothing. Nothing at all. That afternoon, I brought it up to Laura. "He's been acting weird," I said, leaning against the kitchen counter. Laura sighed. "He's 4, Mark. Kids are weird." "No, this is different. He's scared of something." I hesitated before adding, "And the closet door opened on its own this morning." She raised an eyebrow. "You probably just didn't shut it all the way." I didn't argue. What was I supposed to say? That I felt something watching me? That the air in that room pressed down on my chest in a way I couldn't explain? That night, I set up a baby monitor in Daniel's room. He was too old for one, but I needed to know if he was waking up to play these games. At 3:27 a.m., the monitor crackled. A soft thump. Then another. I sat up in bed, heart hammering. I reached for my phone and opened the live feed. Daniel sat in the middle of his room again, facing the closet. The door was wide open. I threw the blankets off and rushed down the hall. His room was freezing. The air smelled stale, like something old and rotten had been left too long in the dark. Daniel didn't turn when I entered. "Daniel," I said carefully, my voice barely above a whisper. "What are you doing?" He didn't answer. He was breathing fast, shoulders rising and falling in sharp movements. I stepped closer. My foot hit something soft. His stuffed animals, all of them, lined up neatly in a row, facing the closet. Something inside me screamed to close the door. Lock it. Move furniture in front of it. Burn the whole damn house down if I had to. But Daniel whispered, "He's inside." The closet door creaked. Not much. Just an inch. Maybe less. But enough. I felt it before I saw it. The shift in the air. The cold pressing closer. Then the darkness inside moved. Not a trick of the light. Not my imagination. It moved. I grabbed Daniel, yanking him up. He screamed, twisting in my grip. "No, he doesn't like that. I slammed the closet door shut. A deep groaning sound, like something being dragged, echoed from behind it. Daniel thrashed. "You made him mad." I didn't wait. I carried him out, down the hall, past the living room, out the front door. I didn't stop until we were standing on the driveway, the cold pavement biting at my feet. Laura burst outside a moment later, eyes wild. "What happened?" I couldn't answer. My chest was heaving. My arms shook as I held Daniel. He sobbed into my shoulder. "We can't go back. We can't." The porch light flickered, and upstairs, from Daniel's window, I saw it. A dark shape standing behind the glass. Watching, waiting, smiling.